What if the thing your dog needs most from you has nothing to do with walks, food, toys, or training? What if it's something so simple that when you hear it, your first thought is going to be, that can't be it? And what if you've been missing it every single day? Not because you're a bad owner, but because nobody ever told you it was happening. Here's the truth most people don't know. Most dogs spend their entire lives trying to tell their owner something, and most owners go their whole lives never quite getting the message. Not because they don't care, because nobody ever explained what the message actually looks like. By the end of this video, that changes. Stay with me, because number 4 is the one that hits hardest. And most people who watch this say they had no idea they were getting it wrong. 1. Stop staring your dog down when they do something wrong. You know this moment. Your dog chewed something, knocked something over, grabbed something they shouldn't have. You catch them, and without even thinking about it, you turn around, look them dead in the eye, and say their name in that tone. You think you're showing them you're disappointed. Your dog is having a completely different experience. In dog body language, a long, hard, unblinking stare is not a correction. It's a threat. It's the same signal a dominant animal uses right before a confrontation. Your dog's brain doesn't process it as, my owner is upset with me. It processes it as something dangerous is about to happen. That freeze you sometimes see, dog goes completely still, head drops, eyes looking up at you, that is not guilt. Researchers have documented this clearly. That's appeasement. That's your dog using every signal they have to say. Please don't make this worse. I'm not a threat. I just want this to stop. And research published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that dogs who regularly experienced confrontational interactions with their owners, even unintentional ones, had significantly higher anxiety levels and were less likely to come to their owner on their own in calm, everyday situations. They're not scared of you exactly. They just never fully know which version of you is showing up. The fix is simple. Redirect instead of stare. Move calmly instead of looming over them. Use your voice to stop the behavior, not your eyes to challenge the animal. Because the dog you want, the relaxed one, the one that chooses to be near you, the one that fully trusts you, cannot exist if part of them is always quietly wondering whether your next look is safe. 2. When they come to check on you, let them finish. This one sounds small. It isn't. Your dog walks over while you're sitting quietly. They come close. They sniff your hand. They press their nose against your arm or your face for a moment. They're reading you, checking your chemistry, running a quiet scan of how you're actually doing. And almost every owner in that exact moment immediately starts petting them. It feels like the right response. It feels like connection. But from your dog's side, you just interrupted them mid-sentence. Dogs check in with the people they're bonded to through scent and closeness in a way that goes much deeper than most owners realize. Your body chemistry tells your dog things your face never could. Whether you're stressed, whether something's off, whether you're okay. That check-in is deliberate. It matters to them. When you immediately turn it into a petting session, you've made the moment about what you want, not what they came to do. Try this instead. Next time your dog walks over and starts that quiet check-in, keep your hands still. Let them take their time, let them finish, and only after they've done what they came to do, if they settle against you, look up at you, or just stand there for a moment, then respond. The difference you'll feel from your dog in those moments is real, because you finally let them complete what they came to say. And a dog who's allowed to finish their sentences will eventually start saying more of them. 3. Give them some kind of warning before big changes. Here's something we do to dogs constantly that we would never do to someone we cared about. We change their entire world without any warning. New baby coming, moving house, someone leaving, a new pet arriving, a surgery, a stretch of time where your schedule completely changes, a holiday where someone else is looking after them. You have context for all of that, time to prepare, a way to understand what's coming. Your dog has none of that. One day the world is one thing, the next day it's completely different, and they have no way to understand why, no way to ask what's happening, and no way to know if it's permanent or temporary. A study from researchers at Stockholm University found that dogs had significantly higher stress hormone levels during periods of household disruption, and that the stress was noticeably worse when the change happened suddenly rather than gradually. You can't explain a house move to your dog in words, but you can change how you act in the weeks before it. You can take them to the new home before moving day. You can let them explore the change slowly. You can keep the parts of their daily routine that make them feel most safe, even when everything else is shifting. What you should not do is what most owners do. Nothing, because they assume the dog will just figure it out. Sometimes they do, but the anxiety, the broken sleep, the elevated stress that can last for weeks, that's real. And it's invisible to the people who caused it. Your dog has been waiting their whole life for you to understand that change is not neutral for them. 4. Let them say no. This is the one. Your dog has a real vocabulary. Not words, body language, posture, small signals that are documented, consistent, and completely meaningful. And within that vocabulary, they have a clear way of saying, "Not right now. I don't want this. Please stop." The head turning away, the lip lick, the slight lean back, the yawn at a moment that makes no sense, the body that goes stiff instead of relaxed. These are not random. These are sentences. And most owners don't just miss them. They actively override them. The kid who wants to hug the dog, and the dog whose whole body is saying no, and the owner who says, "Go ahead, he loves it." The grooming session where the dog is clearly uncomfortable and the owner keeps going because it needs to get done. The stranger who reaches for the dog's head and the owner who says, "Sorry, she's shy," but doesn't step in. Every time this happens, your dog learns one thing. Their signals don't work. And a dog who figures out their signals don't work eventually stops sending them clearly. Research from the University of Bristol School of Veterinary Sciences found that dogs who had more control over physical interactions showed fewer anxiety behaviors and formed stronger, more voluntary bonds with their owners than dogs whose interactions were controlled entirely by the human. Less control from you, more trust from them. This is what your dog has been waiting for their whole life. Not for you to be perfect, not for you to know all the right commands, just for you to listen when they speak, to hear a no and actually honor it. Because a dog who trusts that their no will be respected doesn't need to escalate, doesn't need to growl, doesn't need to shut down completely. They can give you the smallest, quietest signal and know it will land. That's not a dog being managed. That's a dog who feels safe enough to tell you the truth. 5. Be the same person every day. Not perfect, the same. Your dog doesn't need you to be endlessly patient. They don't need you to never have a bad day, or to always be available, or to be full of energy every single evening. What they need is to be able to predict you. Research into canine stress has consistently found that unpredictability in an owner, not harshness, not neglect, just simple inconsistency, is one of the strongest predictors of chronic anxiety in dogs. An owner who's warm one day and distant the next, who plays all weekend and ignores them during the week, who has rules that shift depending on their mood. To your dog, That unpredictability is exhausting because they can't map you. And if they can't map you, they can't fully relax around you. The version of your dog you most want to see, loose, happy, open, trusting, can only exist when their nervous system has decided it's safe to stop monitoring. And monitoring only stops when the person being watched has become predictable enough to trust. You don't need to be an extraordinary owner. You need to be a consistent one. Feed them around the same time. Walk them with the same patience. Respond to what they're telling you with the same attention, regardless of how your day went. Your dog has been waiting their whole life for the version of you that is always the version you are. Not your best version, just the reliable one. If this video gave you something, a new way of seeing your dog, or one moment that made you stop and think, do one thing before you leave. Hit like. Drop a comment telling me which of the 5 you're going to work on first. And subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because the more you understand your dog, the better life gets for both of you. And that's always worth showing up for.